What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another video thing. Just gonna put some on some Germex. Hand sanitizer. Germex is the brand, not sponsored. Okay, so we're gonna talk about another Scooby-Doo movie. Finally, I sat down and watched one today. Scooby-Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery. We finally dodged back into some action. Okay, spoilers. We finally dodged back into some real magic stuff. Even though they try to. Then it shows the end of this is like, okay, one of the oddest crossovers is that these movies have done. And I thought WWE was weird. But the fact that this wasn't the weirdest, was so weird, kind of worked in its favor. Like, I kind of really liked this. And there was a little bit of continuity with my favorite Scooby-Doo movie, Goblin King, where like they seemed like all the magic stuff wasn't real. Which I guess I may have got distracted by something and saw that something happened, but the magic stuff was real, but only Scooby and Shaggy saw it, so that's kind of continuity callback to that movie, like only Scooby and Shaggy see these things happen. It's a little callback to that, and only them know actual magic and monsters and things like that. So it's a little callback to that, which is really cool. But it's the fact that this movie is very odd and extremely strange, and I don't really know anything about Kiss. I didn't even know I've heard some of their songs, because I've heard some of the songs that were in, there's actual Kiss songs in this movie, and I've heard those songs before, but I didn't know they were Kiss songs. I know nothing about Kiss. But it was really interesting, and like, and I was shocked to find out the actual members of Kiss voiced themselves in this. Why should I be surprised WWE stars voiced themselves? But I don't know. Something about this one really shocked me. I shouldn't be as shocked since we got another crossover coming up soon with other crossovers in this that I gotta get to. I think it's like a couple more. I don't know. I don't remember what the next one is. I'll have to check, but this one was one of the oddest examples of this franchise that I've ever seen. And I've seen way worse in this franchise, and surprisingly, the ones that sound the oddest turned out to be some of the best. And this is definitely one of the higher ones of the series, because each, like, there's some actual enjoyable stuff here. It's a character that I wish you would have got more screen time with. The whole actual magic thing was a little like weird, making Kiss like these superhero things from another world or universe or something like that was a little weird. But hey, what are you gonna do? It's a Scooby-Doo movie. I feel like everyone had equal screen time in this. Like, usually either the rest of the gang is shown a little too much, or Scooby and Shaggy take the spotlight usually. But no, I didn't feel that way with this one. It felt like everyone had their good enough amount of screen time. Definitely wasn't Moon Monster Madness. Have I even reviewed that one yet? I think so. I did review Moon Monster Madness, didn't I? Well, I'll go back and record that review if I haven't. I think I already have, though. But this one was just so utterly strange. And even though, like, it was very weird, and I know nothing about Kiss, and I really feel like not a lot of kids when this came out would have even known what Kiss is. So I didn't get the obscure crossing over, but it kind of makes sense with them crossing over and way back in the day, they used to do crossovers with people that kids would have never heard of. But this was a really, really interesting, concept for a really interesting concept for a Scooby-Doo movie. Did I love it? No, not really, because I'm not a big fan of this. The way the realness of this is handled. None of it's like a monster, in my opinion. I really thought from the beginning of the movie when it first started that the gang was gonna be in Kiss getup the whole time. And there's this thing about the movie where they're like, Daphne's flirting with one of the members of Kiss, and isn't these guys like really old? And like, I know they're not teenage. I don't know. And literally, that member of Kiss kisses Daphne at the end, but then later on in some later movies, I know they mention they're still in high school, and I'm not gonna read too much into that. Maybe in this one they weren't still in high school, but I'm gonna assume that because it'll make me feel less weird. But yeah, Daphne gets kissed by one of the members of Kiss, and like Fred this whole time doesn't like Kiss, and he's like even though by the end of the movie he still doesn't really like them, but he respects them. And like there's this one member of the Kiss, Demon, that's his name. If you guys know Kiss, I guess. But yeah, he kind of like gets this whole aggressive attitude where he doesn't really like the gang and like doesn't really like Scooby and Shaggy, but at the end, like he like warms up to them. And then there's the star one. I don't remember what his name was, but he's there, and the other two are all just there. The other two members of Kiss are kind of there, like you don't really remember them really. I remember one of them was like Catman or something like that. I don't remember what the other one's name was. I think the other name was Spaceman, I think. But they really didn't do much. Like, this Spaceman had one scene where he went off with Velma to talk to a psychic lady who was just in the movie for a suspect. So she didn't add much to it. And I guess the other girl that was in this that was kind of flirting with Fred a little bit, but didn't go anywhere. I wish they would have had a little more of that. I kind of liked that character, even though we didn't get much of her. And just the fact that some of this just didn't do what I was expecting, it exceeded expectations. I was expecting this to be stupid. Like, legit, I was expecting this to be one of the dumbest things I've ever watched. And, so, like, it was just really weird and silly. I guess you could say it was really weird and silly what they did with this film. But I guess at this point with this franchise, it's like something that I'm not surprised with. There's some other ones I'm looking forward to reviewing, but this one just was one of the strangest ones. And sitting through this the way I did is like just so strange, so odd, so silly, and not even in a positive way at some points. But I did enjoy this one, and I'll go ahead and give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. We'll give it that. I'm not gonna. This one really wasn't. It's not this one was bad. So this wasn't my cup of tea. I enjoyed it. There was some. The thing is, like the Kiss music for some of the chase sequences was a little bit. I mean, like they was assuming they ripped the universe and they go through like a portal type thing to the other. It's a little bit weird, and it's a very music video-esque. And for some reason, it takes about a good 15 or 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes for the actual intro to play. Like usually it doesn't take that long, but it did for some reason. That's very different for these movies, very, very different. But yeah, this one just didn't hit it for me. Like I enjoyed it, but it's just not one of the best. Like it had a good story and it was actually interesting, and there was some times where I chuckled and laughed. Like there was a joke that Velma makes. The one dude, he can breathe fire, and she's like, "Wow, imagine his acid reflux," or something like that. It was something along those lines, or heartburn joke, something like that. Thing is, this one I definitely enjoyed this more than Moon Monster Madness. Definitely, because I really just was bored by that one, really. This one had a lot more going for it, and a lot more entertainment value, and a lot more comedy. And it just had a better story overall, and it's one of the better ones. It's nowhere near like Legend of the Vampire or the Ghost Map or Mystery Map or whatever it was called. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll be reviewing another Scooby-Doo movie very, very soon. I actually recently purchased this. It fits for the video, so I'm not showing you that I purchased this stuff too, but it's not what I'm trying to show you guys. Purchased Scoob on 4K Blu-ray, and so I thought I'd show that off in this video since I'll be reviewing this soon. Still, even though I just bought it, it's still going to be a little while before I can watch it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!